Welcome back to blackstardove. Welcome back to my channel. As always, I do need that HBO special. Was just me help a brother out. You know, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate if you can subscribe. Man. All right, so this is like, I guess I'm attempting to try to do a follow-up on the Lawrence Smith Fields case. And there's not really nothing there. But I did find out something very interesting as well. All right. So if you don't know about Lawrence Smith Fields, she was, what's what I'm looking for? Well, let's just say she passed away when she met a man on Bumble, and she invited him back into her house. No one really knows what the events that transpired during that night. According to the medical examiner's office, she died of acute intoxication due to combined effects of fentanyl. We heard about that a lot recently. Promethazine, hydroxine, and alcohol, which is pretty much is like, I guess it was like all the drugs and alcohol that was mixed up. But her family is stating that she never really did drugs or did alcohol like that because she was really into fitness. So they're expecting foul play. And they also said that they found a condom with semen inside of it. And also a pill that appears to be a sedative. So they think that is foul play. They think that the person raped her. But as of this moment, up until now, when I did research on the case, there's not really much of anything popping up. So I know they're in the process of trying to legally sue. So that could be the reason why. It could be during the discovery phase. So nothing's really coming up about that. But something else I found very interesting that I didn't even know until I started looking into this. There was also another woman killed that very same night named Brenda Rawls. Brenda Rawls was killed. It's almost the same kind of circumstances. She met, instead of meeting the man on Bumble, she went on a date with a man down the street from her. And she ended up missing. But in both cases, Brenda Rawls and Lawrence Smith Fields, next of kin, was never notified by the police. The kin had to find out themselves that their missing ones was murdered. But Brenda Rawls, at that time, she was 53 years old. The medical examiner said she died from cardiovascular disease brought on by her diabetes. Well, I can't speak today. But they're labeling it a natural death. But it was two deaths that happened the same night, all because of a date. And I thought it was funny because, like, Miss Brenda Rawls, I never heard of her until now. So I had to look into why. I can't find any information on the man that she went on a date with because they don't mention his name, his race, or anything. They just mentioned how the family had to go get the clothes from him because he said that she left some clothes over at his house. So I'm like, well, that's very strange. How come we never heard of this? So I'm trying to like look into who this man is. I couldn't find anything because I'm like, okay, why we hear about Lawrence Smith Fields, but we never heard about Brenda Rawls. I know Lawrence Smith Fields, that she did go out with this white man that she met on Bumble. I'm like, well, was the man that Miss Rawls went out with, was he white or was he black? You know, like why didn't she get the attention? Because they both died on the same night. And so I thought that was very strange as well. But other than that, man, I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like we should really do more for this case. Like, you know, this woman, in my opinion, I can't prove it. It seemed like she had a good time. I even would think that she took some of the drugs herself. Like, you know, she probably, you know, was drinking some alcohol, probably did a little bit of something. But especially to find a sedative and then find the condom with semen, I do think that she was raped. And I do think that he possibly could have killed her. Again, this is all allegedly. I have no proof to back this up. But from everything that I have seen and read, I'm like, okay, things are not going well. And then the detectives were placed on leave, but then a arbitrator found out that the department couldn't do it because there's not enough justification to put them on leave, and it's been crazy. So I do feel for both families, for both Laura Smith Fields and Miss Brenda Ross. With Miss Ross' situation is a little bit different because, as I stated before, her death was ruled natural, but it was I still think it was some foul play involved in hers as well. With all that being said, I'll say this, especially for anyone on a first date. It's like weird because, like, back in the day, you can do a first date at somebody's house. They'll cook for you, they'll play some jazz music, and then that, like, it was all right. Nowadays, it's like you really can't go on somebody's house on a first date. So I would say, if you could, try not to have first dates at your house or at that person's house. If you can, try to find out more about that person. People are smartening up, so before they used to just use the same pictures that they use on social media sites. Now they're taking pictures exclusively for that dating site that's not linked to any other social media, so it's being harder to track them. But make sure you meet in a well-lit area. Make sure you meet in a well-crowded area. You don't have to have the first date at somebody's house. At least go out and meet them before you say, hey, let's take the party back to my place or to your place. You're a grown person, so I assume that you know what's best for you. But I just want to make sure that we're protecting Black women as much as possible. Like I said, I do feel really bad for both these women. Hopefully they can both get some form of justice. Hopefully they can both sue the police department, because, like, man, that's crazy. Their families didn't find out until they went searching for them. No one tried to notify their next of kin, and that's bullshit in my opinion. So yes, this is my mini update about what happened, because I'm still very interested in the case. I'm very interested in what's going to happen. Doesn't seem like much is shaking at this point in time. Could be tied up in legal legalities, but hey, take care. I love you. Peace.